Greetings. The great and rapid technological advances of our age have had perspectives preceding it, from fascination to foreboding. The well-balanced mind will perceive technology as both exciting and potentially dangerous. Nonetheless, barring a worldwide disaster such as an intense solar flare that renders all of our technology useless in a nanosecond, it is likely to remain and increase at unprecedented rates. I have therefore interviewed 3 teachers and provided a survey to 5 students to gain insight into its function, effects, and general usage. In this video, we will go over what they have all had to say, consider perspectives from my personal cohort, and take a focused peek into both English language learners and special needs students and the differences pertaining to age groups or grade levels. Finally, I will draw conclusions based on this compiled data to consider how I would go about using technology for the aforementioned variety of students. The 3 teachers I interviewed are also owners of English language schools I have previously worked for in China and Mexico, with the 3 combined covering all age groups of students. The first teacher owns a language school in Guangzhou with students ranging from 2 to 6 years old. The second owns a language school in Zhongshan with students ranging from 3 to 11. The final teacher interviewed owns a language school in Santiago de Querétaro with students ranging from early teen to adult. Combined, the answers were that the pros outweigh the cons if technology is used responsibly and with limits so as to benefit from it yet not become consumed by it. The pros indicated the perspective that technology is more engaging, helps to differentiate instruction, and facilitates the assigning, collecting, and grading of tasks, as well as fostering a variety of means for communication between teachers, students, and parents. All use technology to communicate with parents and students on a regular basis. The difference seemed to be that the 2 teachers in China relied almost exclusively on WeChat, whereas in Mexico, Class Dojo was cited. None cited a disparagement due to a difference in student personal and or home access to technology, either because, as language schools, homework is not assigned or all students capable of attending said schools are those who are financially secure. Touchscreens were cited as a means by which to teach and include material that increases cultural awareness, yet their focus seems to be on those cultures that speak English, since that is the focus of these language schools. None cited cyberbullying as an issue due to the professionalism of students in the Mexican school or the general lack of access for children to online social media in China. The one school that does assign homework is in Mexico, and the teacher mentioned the existence of plagiarism software that makes it easier to detect plagiarism in student work. The same mentioned a student requiring assistive technology, but headphones were enough as they had a slight hearing impediment. None have used augmented or virtual reality, but seem interested in its potential. The same can be said for artificial intelligence, except one school in China mentioned a robot with slight AI capabilities they keep at the front entrance, both to attract customers and preoccupy students who are waiting for their parents to pick them up. All 3 indicated a faith that technology will not make the teacher's job obsolete, as students and parents prefer the social interaction of human beings over machines. Only the teacher in Mexico said it may render less education jobs available, as it might replace those roles in education that do not require social interaction, but that does not pertain to teachers themselves. As per the discussions I had with my cohort, they also agreed that technology will not threaten the teacher due to the human tendency to prefer human contact over that of machinery. There was some concern in the notion that teachers will constantly need to update themselves on the current trends of technology. Teachers will not only need to be able to adapt and overcome, but teach their students to do so as well. All seem to concur that the technology is beneficial and necessary, but must be used responsibly and in a controlled framework. Thus it seems members of my cohort seem to largely have the same perspective as the teachers I had interviewed. Let's take a look at the student survey results. All are previous students of mine, 2 in Mexico and 3 in China, from the ages of 7 to 11. 2 out of 5 indicated a feeling of social awkwardness. All but 1 preferred audio version books to actual reading, but the exceptions cited the inclusion of pictures as the motivation. All live with both parents, some with siblings, some as an only child. Most did not cite special practices or beliefs. The exceptions were the Mexicans, whose families are Catholic. The greatest variety was found in what they like to do in their free time, but most cited play, gaming consoles, sports, and socializing. Socializing seemed to be most common, perhaps due to its recently imposed scarcity worldwide. Televisions, phones, gaming consoles, and iPads were the most commonly cited tools used daily. One girl in China has a robot rabbit at home that interacts with her vocally, playing songs or reciting stories at her command. All but one cited physical activities as extracurricular interests such as sports, music, and dance lessons. What was found challenging seemed equally divided between academic subjects, art, or sports. None cited any special needs or learning disabilities. Although 3 teachers deal with English language learners, I have done my own research into assistive technology. I tend to agree with the teachers' approaches to use of technology. I would keep it limited for earlier ages to prevent their becoming reliant on it, and gradually increase its usage for older learners due to its necessity. I think it is good that they stick to 1 or 2 means of communication so it does not get confusing or overwhelming. I think the opposite approach is good for students with special needs, and if a teacher has one, they ought to provide a plethora of assistive technological resources to such students requiring them. The hearing-impaired student would have benefited, for example, from a speech-to-text software that would allow him to not only read as the teacher speaks, but to save the text so as to review it later if need be. I will use such technology that can assist in automatic detection of special needs, potential areas requiring differentiated instruction, organization, and plagiarism checking far more than these teachers seem to indicate using, as they will make the teacher's job more easy and more effective. In conclusion, today's teacher should be prepared for, but not fear, change.